Well, that burst of optimism lasted a whole, 3 days. Um, some of these things, you have to laugh to keep from crying. Um, Guess what? Remember when J.J. McCarthy lit up the Raiders in the preseason opener the other day? Um, he also tore the meniscus in his knee and is going to have surgery. Um, and very unclear timetable of how long he's going to be out. Um, Now, he wasn't going to be the starting quarterback early in the season unless Darnold just completely implodes, and he hasn't been imploding at least to this point in camp, and he played well in the preseason opener as well. Um, so, you know, and if Darnold's good for the whole season, then he's probably going to be the quarterback for the whole season. So you can look at it from that perspective. That if a guy's missing a couple months or even the season, and I don't think it's going to be a season. I don't think it's that level of seriousness that it would knock him out for the season. But it could be a couple months, and nobody wants to deal with this because we've dealt with it. We've dealt with it so many times. Um, but you know, so he might be out a couple months. It could be. It could be. We'll see. I guess we'll see. Supposedly, this is like they gotta go in and do the surgery before they know exactly how extensive the repairs are. So, it might be, whenever they have the surgery. I guess that's when we'll know. Um, but so he, might not have too much of an effect on this season because he probably was going to play, for a while anyway. What hurts is that he's going to miss, these last two preseason games. I mean, if he for sure was going to play in the next one against Cleveland, and they have joint practices this week too, and he was going to get a lot of action in those. So, that's going to set him back. I mean, you can say that based on his performance in camp in that preseason game, he's ahead of schedule. So if this puts him behind schedule, well, then maybe he's right on schedule. Um, it doesn't mean he can't study a playbook, and it doesn't mean he can't watch film and all that stuff. But I mean, it's hard not to go like worst case scenario because we've seen so many of these instances of quarterbacks. They'll have a flash, and then it's the nightmare. The one I immediately sprang to mind was Teddy Bridgewater, because that was the first year of US Bank Stadium, the opener, the home opener, first game at the new Purple Palace, and he played a fantastic game. I think it was against the Chargers, and then like 2 days later, his knee explodes, and it's just over, at least as a Viking. Um, and of course we had it with Sam Bradford. Fantastic game, start the 2017 season, and then he's done. And obviously last year, Kirk playing some of the best football of his career for a few weeks, and then he takes a wrong step on a fucking cow pasture field, and it's over. And maybe it goes back. You can go back even further. You can go all the way back to like Fran Tarkenton breaking his leg right before what would have been like the last playoff run of the Tarkenton Bud Grant era. And Culpepper shredding his knee up. Like, it's just, other it's always like, woe is us. Like, other franchises deal with quarterback injuries and deal with major quarterback injuries. It's not just Vikings, but the timing of some of these things that we've had has been like especially ridiculous. And again, this one might not have a huge effect on this season, and it might not even have an effect on McCarthy's career. But this is the thing, and I don't want to make this into a Kirk thing, but what was one of the things people ripped on him for years about? Well, he's not mobile. He's not a running quarterback. He plays from the pocket. Well, guess what? When you got a guy who's going to run around a lot, and McCarthy's going to be a guy who's going to run. He's going to, obviously, I mean, he probably aggravated this thing or injured it to begin with on one of those scrambles that he had on Saturday. And you know, when you got a guy who runs, and we've seen it with a lot of these guys, a lot of these mobile quarterbacks, they're going to get hurt more. They're going to get hurt. And people got to be ready for that reality. You know, now Kirk got hurt on a non-contact play. Um, that can literally happen to anybody. But for all the shit that he took, he wasn't going to get himself hurt running around. And this isn't like a knock on McCarthy. Like, he got hurt. Like, it can happen, but you have to allow for that possibility, strong possibility, with these running quarterbacks, because most of them don't just play every week for years. Like, they're gonna get hurt. Um, what we gotta hope for, because I want McCarthy to succeed. I want him to be the guy for 10 years. What you gotta hope for is that this is just one thing, like one injury, and repair it, and it's fine, and there's no worry going forward. It doesn't hurt his mobility, it doesn't hurt his ability to run, none of that. Because you don't want it to become a chronic injury situation, like Sam Bradford had just a chronic issue with his legs, and it destroyed his career. I mean, that's how it is. Um, so we hope we hope JJ McCarthy is okay long term. Again, I don't think it sets us back too much as far as what the plans were for this season. And hopefully Darnold will play well. And he's been playing. He's looked good in camp. He looked good in the one drive he got in the preseason game. He's obviously going to play again this weekend. I don't know if they play him in the last one, but and barring something absolutely unbelievable, he was always going to be the quarterback for Week 1 at the Giants. But it's an annoying, frustrating development to have this happen. And happen right away after like the first, all this optimism about McCarthy and his performance, and very justified, I think, regardless of who he was playing against. Like, he was playing with guys who are backups too. So, for all the people who want to ding him, like, oh, he's just playing like backups. Well, he's playing with backups too. So, but he looked very good, and hopefully this doesn't set him back too much. But we won't be seeing him again for a while. I mean, we won't be seeing him again in the preseason, and if Darnold plays well, we ain't gonna see him till 2025, because they're not. I mean, other than like maybe mop-up duty situations, they were not gonna be. They would not just switch to McCarthy just for the hell of it. But yeah, frustrating day, frustrating news and development. Just because we've dealt with it so many times here, it's like not again. The monkey paw. All we've asked for is we want that stud rookie quarterback, and now it's like, okay, well, you're gonna get him, but he's gonna get hurt after one preseason game. It's just don't even fucking try to tell me there is not a more cursed franchise in the NFL, if not all of sports entirely. And lucky me, it's my favorite team. So that's it. But we'll see what happens with McCarthy, and we will continue to hope that Sam Darnold, the God Emperor quarterback, balls out.